It's the weekend, guys, and you know what that means. It's a doubleheader in IPL 2022, and for Game 1, we've got a man to dissect two losers in CSK and SRH, but he, of course, is a winner all right. Right, two teams, both have, of course, not tasted victory so far, but we've got a man who, of course, knows all about wins. WV Raman, thank you so much for joining us on cricket.com. How are you?
I'm all right, and it's a pleasure to be out here. I'm also looking forward to this doubleheader. It's going to be very, very entertaining.
Yeah, I know that you're in Pune right now, so good luck with the summer and passing this particular heat, because right now everywhere is pretty hot. Talk about a hot fixture then, Chennai and Hyderabad. I have to ask you first and foremost, who's disappointed you more in IPL 2022, sir?
If you hail from Chennai like I do, and you got two teams from Chennai not notching up points so far in this tournament, is going to be disappointing on all fronts, and even more disappointing for the fans of these two teams, because people in my neck of the woods, Chennai and Tamil Nadu, are great, knowledgeable crowds, and they like their sides, and they're looking forward to these sides notching up some points. So it's going to be a fantastic contest, and the fans will all be worked up. There'll be a lot of emotions coming out when they see these two sides face off each other.
Absolutely, I can't agree with you more. Speaking of fans, we have a CSK fan which will get in due course of time throughout the show to ask you a question, but I have to ask you about this particular fixture. Now, CSK SRH normally is a one-sided affair. Many CSK fans would agree with me. Even the head-to-head kind of suggests that. So can Chennai kickstart their campaign by winning this particular match?
Obviously, they will definitely back themselves. The fact of the matter is that they're perhaps trying to work out a combination, and hence, it's perhaps something that has deterred them from putting up points, but they will be disappointed. When they take on the Sunrisers, I think they'll be a lot more positive, and there'll be a lot of changes in terms of their strategy, in terms of what they do, I feel.
Right, we talk about CSK's batters, and they've kind of looked timid in the power play, barring Robin Uthappa. Why do you think that is, and how can they kind of solve this issue at the earliest?
Yes, Robin Uthappa has always been good at the top of the order, but if you look back at what CSK did in all these years, is they had an experienced campaigner who was a bit of a chameleon. I'm using the word chameleon in the most positive sense, because you had the Asi, and also you had Faf du Plessis, who are very experienced, who would play the role of a chameleon. They'll see what their partner is doing. If their partner had a good time, if they're getting runs quickly, they'll try and pipe down a little bit. And if they saw the partner struggling, they'll just step on the pedal. But this year, they've not yet found out who the chameleon is going to be. As far as I see, the most experienced of the campaigners who could do that job is Moeen Ali, around whom all the others can bat. Ruturaj is not yet got going this season. That's something that they'll look forward to. A lot depends on him too, because he promised a lot, and he played very well in the last season for the CSK. So obviously, they'll be looking forward to this guy getting into form. And as I said earlier, if they find somebody who can be a catalyst, who can come at the top of the order, around whom the others can play, because CSK has got a lot of multi-dimensional cricketers in their ranks. They can really sort of do what they're best doing, getting runs quickly enough with the least number of balls that they get to face. And that's how they've flourished all these years. I'm sure that that is something that they'll look to doing as well.
Yeah, some pertinent points mentioned by you there. On the other hand, you look at SRH's batting, top four at least. Do you think that needs a reshuffle? Because Kane Williamson, many people saying, can drop down. Rahul Tripathi can go up the order. And Aiden Markham, of course, opens for South Africa. So how do you see that being reshuffled?
I personally feel that Washington Sundar will be a far better opener than Abhishek Sharma can be, because I've seen both these lads from the start of their careers. Washington Sundar's batting ability is not really being used well enough. Yes, they do rate him everywhere that he plays. They do rate him as a useful batter, but they don't really take that step forward of promoting him and giving him more responsibility as far as batting is concerned. So I'd like to see Sunrisers do that, because he's a very good player of fast bowlers, and he can get runs quickly, I assure you, on that score. And that's something that I would like to see. Yes, of course, Kane Williamson can drop down to 4, because he can pace the innings and he can also manage things. And the very presence of Williamson towards the end of the innings is going to make a huge difference, because he knows what to do in every kind of situation that one would get to see towards the end of the innings.
Right, I mean, it's food for thought, really. You mentioned one of the lads there, WE, the fact that Abhishek Sharma. I'll add Abdul Samad to it. They've been around for a while in the SRH camp. What are the realistic expectations from them, you feel?
I think the important thing here is the role allocation. There's been a change in the management with the Sunrisers team, which means that the way cricketers are seen, the roles that is going to be allocated is going to change as well. Because you got Tom Moody handling the show now. He would come across with a different set of plans from what perhaps Katic might have had for them. So that is going to make a bit of a difference. So it remains to be seen as to how, as the tournament progresses, how these guys are going to be utilized, what exactly is expected of them from the management.
Yeah, fingers crossed from an SRH perspective. Those two are not just hidden gems, but prove their worth going forward in the tournament. Just sticking with Hyderabad a little bit more, because in terms of the power play, they've not been really good with the ball. If there's anyone, it's been Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Who do you think should partner him with the new ball, or should it be horse for courses like we saw with Sundar against LSG?
Sundar has always been fantastic at the top during the power play with the new ball. So I think that should work out very well with Bhuvi also getting his rhythm back and making the ball swing and seam both ways, which means the batters also have to adopt different technique when they have a good swing bowler who's experienced like Bhuvi and also a spinner from the other end, which means the skill sets are different, the temperament is different, and the shots that they need to play are going to be different. So a fast bowler and a spinner from different ends is going to pose a challenge of a different kind too.
All right, I mean, we talk about CSK then and their bowlers next, because they found their trio in terms of the pace overseas guys, in terms of Jordan, Pretorius has kind of done well, and Bravo, of course, needs no introduction. Do you think that's going to be the plan going ahead? Because they have some young gems as Indian pacers. One comes to mind is Hunger Gaker.
Yeah, the thing is that I felt that they really lack the firepower to exploit whatever little lack of courage that you might come across in the batters in the opposition ranks. By that I mean, if you have somebody who can bowl at 140 clicks consistently enough, that can rattle a few, and not many batters can really go hammer and tongs against real quick bowlers. That's something that CSK likes, but they also managed to make do with the likes of Bravo, who takes the pace of the ball, but they have good spinners too. Moeen Ali and Jadeja can really be useful. So they managed with that kind of strategy with bowlers who don't give you pace. That's one way of looking at it, and I think they're going to stick to it. As far as the young man is concerned, I think it's going to be added pressure on him if they bring him into the level in a crucial game. Maybe if they had continued playing him, he could have perhaps picked up a few things. He could have learned a few things. Youngsters generally get better and better as they played more regularly in the 11.
Yeah, remember, Hunger Gaker was CSK's first ever under-19 bye, so let's see how that story unfolds in due course. And not to forget the fact that Chennai Super Kings need a win. Now, speaking of Chennai Super Kings, we've got a fan on today's CDC fan cam, and it comes from Leh Ladakh. Neha has this question for WE. Take it away, Neha.
Hello, Mr. Raman. This is Neha, a CSK fan. I would actually like to ask you, how do you perceive Ravindra Jadeja as the coming captain of the CSK? Dhoni has left behind a great legacy and it's difficult to fill his shoes. But do you think Ravindra Jadeja can pull this off altogether and take us to a winning start?
Interesting question, because Jadeja is somebody who's got to contribute to the side in every respect. By that I mean bowling, batting and fielding. Now, additional responsibility, especially to fill in the shoes of Dhoni, like you said, is going to be definitely difficult for him. But also, he needs to have a clear mandate. He also needs to be given the freedom to make his moves. CSK has been a side known for its clarity, by and large, because of one man. Mahi was always one guy who was clear in what he wanted to do, starting from the choice of players that they went in during the auctions. From then on to whatever was done, despite the fact that they've had their ups and downs, highs and lows in every way possible, there was also always a sense of clarity that was the hallmark of the CSK. Now that I think is lacking a little bit here, because you do have Dhoni guiding Jadeja on the field too. That's not bad, but at the same time, Jadeja should not really sort of think of Dhoni doing the bulk of the work as far as captaincy is concerned. he's got to tell himself, right, yes, we had a great captain. He's always there on hand, available for us. So let me call the shots. Let me make the moves. I might get it wrong the first couple of games, but the more moves I make, the better I'm going to get from my mistakes. So that's how he's got to look at it and get on with it.
Right, we appreciate your answers, WV. And remember, guys, viewers watching this, you can have a fair chance to feature on the cricket.com platform. Just let us know in the description below in the email, and then you can send in your question to the experts. Right, before I get WV's predictions for this one, we have to, of course, feature our next segment, which is called Mr. Milestone.
Which player needs one more win to achieve the landmark of 100 T20 victories as a player?
You can let us know in the comments below, and we'll move on swiftly to WV's predictions. Of course, he's hinted that he's a CSK man. So Chennai or Hyderabad, you can be biased here, WV.
Can I have a toss of coin?
Sure.
So I think Chennai will manage it because Hyderabad has struggled really in terms of their game plan, and they also not sorted out their batting order. Yes, I do feel that CSK also has to sort out a couple of things in its batting order, but I think the overall experience and the past record, I think, gives them an edge.
Okay, let's see if WV's prediction comes true, because look, we're having a little contest with all our experts and making them don the hat of soothsayers. So let's see if WV can be WV Nostradamus Raman in that one. And with that, we'll of course end this match preview. Thanks for watching cricket.com. We'll catch you soon.